Okay, I don't know whether I'm live. There we go. Yes, I am live. Okay, just bear with me 2 seconds. I just like to make sure. So apologies, it doesn't tell me I'm live until actually everything's already kind of started. So anyway, I'm really, really excited. So first of all, you probably noticed a bit of a change of scenery again. So I'm back in the office, which means I can be super excitable. I can speak as loud as I like, but also I've stopped my cough as well. So if you're watching this live and you're excited as well, so tonight I'm going to break down obviously meal plans, recipes, recipe packs, all of that kind of stuff can be really, really helpful. And I'm going to talk about how they're helpful, how they can help you on your journey. But what I'm then going to do is I'm going to break them apart. And I'm going to explain to you why they can be awesome and how you can use them effectively on your journey for better health, more energy, weight loss, whatever your health and fitness goals, they can be super helpful. However, I'm also then going to show you why they're not the answer. Okay, so just having a meal plan, just having recipe packs, recipe books are not the answer. They're not going to solve everything. And they're fantastic for so many reasons. But tonight, I'm going to go into so much detail about why they're not the answer. And I'm going to talk about what is the answer and how you can truly get long-lasting, sustainable results. So I know that many of the women in this group are here because they're probably wanting to lose some weight, whether it's 10, 15, 20, 50 pounds. So if you are one of those women, if you are looking to lose weight, let us know in the comments below, how much weight are you looking to lose? Like, what is your goal? Like, how much do you want to lose right now? Other women, not necessarily worried about the number on the scales, and that's okay. Maybe it's dress sizes. Maybe they want to drop 1, 2, 3 dress sizes. If that's you, let us know in the comments how many dress sizes you want to drop. And for some women, they're important, but actually the reason behind it is they want to improve their health. They want to have more energy so they can run after their grandkids, so they can have a more active lifestyle in retirement or in their 50s, 60s. It might be that they want to reinvigorate their sex life. Maybe their relationship is not as exciting as it used to be because they don't have the confidence to be naked in front of their partner, that maybe they avoid that. Like, there can be so many reasons. So what I'd love to know before I kind of get in tonight is, what is the reason that you're tuning in? What is the reason that you join this group? Is it you want to lose weight? And if so, how much? Is it you want to drop dress sizes? If so, how much? Is it other reasons? Like, what is truly important to you? And I've spoken about this a lot recently, and knowing why is your why and knowing why it's important can really, really help you along your journey. So, I want to start by starting with that. And tonight I'm going to go through, what actually you need to achieve that, to get those long lasting results that are going to give you that happiness, and give you exactly what you want. Now, before I get into that, I'm still waiting for a bit of interaction. Got 9 live on so far, which is awesome. Normally we have a lot more, but with the warmer weather, I'm expecting people probably sat outside, enjoying the warm weather, or even potentially watching the Euros if you're into football. So that's fine. Totally understandable that there's less than normal. But those that are live, I want you to engage me. I don't want to just talk at a camera for the whole kind of 30, 45 minutes. So start responding in the comments below. Start answering those questions. Let me know what it is you're looking to achieve. Also, let me know if you're live. So throw me a hashtag live in the comments below. Say hello if you're here now, just so I'm actually, talking and interacting with people. I can see Julie's watching, Julie Simpson. If you're watching on replay, throw me a hashtag replay. And again, even if you're on replay, engage with this. Genuinely mean this. The more you put into this group, the more you interact, the more you're going to get in return. Sorry if my mic just made a load of noise. I just hit it. If you're new to the group, throw me a hashtag newbie so I can see who's new, who's the first live. And if you are new, I go live every single Monday and I give a ton of value. I really break down what we are doing with our clients. Our clients are achieving incredible results. In fact, next week, we have Pamela Robertson on. She believes she had dodgy scales at the start, so we don't really know what her start weight was. We know for definite she's lost at least 30 pounds, but she believes she's actually lost about 45 pounds since working with us. And she's only got 14 pounds left to go till she hits her goal. So, you know, every Monday going to be introducing you to people like that and talking about how we're helping them get those kind of results and what we do with our clients to achieve long-lasting, sustainable results. So what's working right now? And tonight, specifically about recipe packs and meal plans. So I just got a few notes. So just want to make sure I don't lose my train of thought, because sometimes I do kind of ramble on, or I do go off on tangents. So the kind of results we're getting, I said, Pamela next week, she's achieved like around about 45 pounds weight loss. We've got Lorraine the month after. Lorraine, I think, has lost nearly 4 stone now, but for her, it's been more than that. She's got freedom from diet. She's got freedom with her food. She doesn't feel guilty now when she goes out for dinner. She doesn't sit in front of her friends. And this is a genuine story. She went out for dinner with her friends the other week, and her friends turned around to her and said, "You've changed." And they didn't mean it in a bad way. They said, "You've changed because you didn't sit for an hour looking at everything on the menu and thinking, oh my God, what shall I have?" You literally looked at the menu and picked something that you wanted, because Lorraine understands now exactly, you know, how to balance everything out, how to enjoy the stuff she loves. And she's lost nearly 4 stone, I believe. Obviously, by the time we speak to her at the beginning of July, I don't even know how much it'll be. She's doing awesome. We've already had people on like Mary. Ange has dropped 3 dress sizes. Mary's got a waist size as small as what she had in the 20s. So me and my team, we've got a ton of experience. Some of us in the team have been doing this for like 20 plus years. And I would say amongst us, between all of us, we've probably worked with thousands of women. Me, for example, I'm the owner and the founder of ARC. I'm a sports scientist, so I've got a degree, like an honors degree, but I've also got a level 4 nutrition qualification with the BTN Academy. So it's a year-long program of study with exams at the end. So a lot of people will say they're nutritionists because they do these kind of weekend courses, like a level 1, level 2 course. But me and my team are level 4 nutritionists, which is kind of foundational degree standards. So it's a 1-year course with exams. And we've got therapists, we've got life coaches. We've actually got someone going back to study to become a registered dietitian as part of the team. We've got a whole host of expertise, personal trainers, fitness coaches. And this is how we're kind of getting these kind of results, and why actually the stuff that we're sharing with you, I think, could be really beneficial and really help you on your journey. And this is how, you know, with all of our expertise, all of our knowledge, experience, we're able to get women incredible results. So looking forward to tonight. If you're excited, if you're looking forward to it, press the like button, press the love heart button. I can see it's already got up to 17 live, which actually 18 live. I'm actually really pleased with that, because I didn't expect many tonight with the nice weather and stuff like that. But what I would love to see is, I'd love to see some engagement. Okay, say hi in the comments. Tell me if you're live. Tell me if you're watching a replay, because I don't just want to talk to a camera all night. So press the like button, press the love heart button if you're excited for tonight, and how we're going to break down, you know, how meal plans are great, like what they're good for, how recipe packs are great, what they're good for, how they can benefit you. But ultimately, I'm going to really break down tonight how they're not the solution, how they're not the answer to those long-lasting, sustainable results. And a little bit of a surprise, I'm going to go behind the scenes tonight. So I'm going to actually share what we do, and I'm going to show you my group. I'm going to show you our private members group. Sorry, excuse me, private members group, and we're going to go into that and show you a bit more about that, because I know some people are a bit like, oh, well, you know, what is it? What do you do? And I know that some women that have joined us have joined the group and then turned around and said, do you know what? If you'd shown me all of this, if you told me that this is everything, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. So I'm going to do a behind the scenes tonight. I'm going to really show you kind of what we offer and what we provide the women that we work with, which will again highlight why we get such great results. So first of all, let's talk about meal plans and recipe packs. So let me know in the comments below if you believe that that's what you need. You need a list of foods. Like, you want someone to just give you a plan and say, here, eat this. All right. Don't eat this, eat this. Eat these combination of foods. Let me know in the comments below. I think for some reason, actually, I think the comments aren't working, because I can just see that some comments have come up on my Facebook, But actually, yeah, there's people commenting for whatever. There we go. Okay, I can now see the comments. Apologies for that. I didn't think anyone was interacting with me. So Ruth, I don't weigh ever, but I know by how I feel how much I weigh. So probably 21 pounds. Could be. So, you know, Ruth wants to lose 21 pounds soon. Hey, Ellie. Ellie is one of my clients. I've worked with Ellie a long time. Awesome to see you on. Anne would like to lose weight and fit into my clothes. Can't keep buying bigger sizes. Sue Walker wants to drop 4 dress sizes. Charlotte 4 dress sizes. Morning, Lorraine. Evelyn Lorraine. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Jane. Awesome. So let me know in the comments if you believe now or you used to believe that you needed a meal plan. If you think a meal plan is the answer, all I need is someone to give me this list of foods, exactly what I should be eating. And if you don't think so I think Susan's put no. Susan said no in the comments. Ruth said absolutely not. Let me know why you think we don't need it. And hopefully, you know, we might come up with the same kind of responses, the same kind of answers. So here's why they're a good thing. So a lot of personal trainers use these because for a personal trainer, their time is spent on a gym floor. Okay. And I know from experience working with many of them in the past, working with some in my team, they have to work long hours and literally work early in the morning, late at night, and they spend all their time in the gym coaching clients. And that's essentially how they get the money, by, you know, working with lots and lots of people, working all through the day, filling their calendar. And then obviously nowadays people understand that nutrition is the most important aspect. So a lot of personal trainers, and this is no disrespect, and I'm certainly not criticizing, they're trying to do the best they can to earn a living and help people as best as they can. But because of the nature of the job, some don't charge enough money, and that's why they have to work ridiculous hours. So then what they're trying to do then is support people with their nutrition without actually having proper conversations about it. So what they do instead is they'll do like a nutrition qualification, like a weekend course. And most PTs, even some PT studios that I know of, in fact, my wife went to one a few years back because she won't listen to her husband. And a lot of PT studios, even ones that have a great reputation, will do this. They'll give their clients meal plans because they haven't got the time to go through diet and nutrition with them because they focus on exercise. And they will work. So essentially what they've done is they've got this plan of food, right? And if you eat the meal plan, if you literally follow it to the letter, you will get results. So the first positive for meal plans is if you literally follow it to the letter, you literally eat everything on that sheet of paper, you are going to see results as long as you stick to it. 99.9% of the time. In fact, let me know in the comments if you've had a meal plan before and you saw results or you didn't see results. I would say the vast majority probably saw results. So that's a win. Like, that's a positive, because most of the women in this group want to lose some weight, or they want to drop dress sizes. So straight away, if you're following something, you get results, that's going to make you happy because that's something that you're looking for. Now, this is part of the benefit of it, is if I, as a coach, just gave someone a meal plan and they followed it and they got results, they're going to feel motivated, because actually motivation comes from partly success, but also because of action. Now, it's super easy to get someone to take action with a meal plan because it's there for them. It's all written out. It's all, here you go, eat this, like literally follow this. Now, when it's that laid out, it's super simple. There's no confusion. There's no, oh, okay, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. You literally eat what's on the piece of paper. And if you follow it, you get results. So you've got two things there. And a lot of people talk about motivation being their big issue, the big thing they struggle with. But motivation doesn't just show up. It actually comes from action. And if you think about this, and I know I've done a whole kind of live on this, but essentially, if you take action and you see some success, or you take action and you feel good about yourself doing it, that inspires you and makes you feel motivated to take more steps. So for example, let's say you want to lose weight and you go, do you know what? Right, I'm gonna start at the gym. Now, yes, you're gonna pluck up the kind of like, right, I'm gonna do this. You're gonna commit to something. You're gonna get to a point where you're in so much either unhappiness, discomfort. You're in a place where you just cannot continue as you are. So you are going to be pushed into taking action. So let's say you go to the gym, that action of going to the gym is going to make you feel good. You're going to feel like, right, that's it. Motivation. I've taken action, motivation, and I'm going to kick on from there. So with the meal plan, this actually is easy for you to get started. So you're going to have a bit of motivation because you're taking action. You're going to follow it. You're going to see results. That's going to add to your motivation, and that will kind of snowball. So all of these are really, really positives. The other thing is, as soon as you start seeing some results, you're going to gain trust in the person that you're working with. So I'll give you an example. My barber I was speaking to the other week, he did this meal plan. So it's this guy who has got a big reputation around like where I live. And he just essentially all he does is he gives training plans and meal plans. He does give a little bit of support, but he gives a meal plan. Now, my barber lost a lot of weight. And when I looked at the meal plan, it was understandable why. Essentially, it was ridiculously low calories. It was unsustainable. And I didn't say that to him because he was so excited and he wanted to do it. And I'm not the kind of person to say, look, this isn't going to work, because people have to find out for themselves. So he did it and he lost a lot of weight in the first month, a lot of weight. And it's great. And he was feeling motivated. But then slowly, life starts to take over. Work, stress. He's got a little one. In fact, he's got 2 kids. And he couldn't stick to it. He was feeling hungry. He was feeling tired. He was feeling knackered. And here's where we're going to start to talk about the kind of problems with meal plans. Now, he's kind of looked at this guy's results. And obviously, when you're selling a meal plan, it's a lot cheaper because you don't have to coach. You don't have to provide the support. You don't have to kind of sit with people and answer all their questions and go through what's going on and help them with their lifestyle and help them with the stress, help them with their sleep and everything else which impacts what you eat. You literally can go, here you go, follow this. And then when they've got problems with the meal plan, you can literally say, okay, swap this for this. It's really simple, really easy for someone to give a meal plan and support someone in that way. So it's a lot cheaper because it's not as time consuming. So my friend, obviously seeing all these results, because essentially the guy that does it is really popular. He's got hundreds, if not thousands of people. So you think every month to 2 months, he's got hundreds, if not thousands of people following his meal plans. Out of those hundreds and thousands, you're obviously going to have a handful that will stick to it. They will go through the misery of being hungry. They will go through the misery of feeling tired. They will punish themselves in the gym and stick to the meal plan rigidly because they're so desperate to get those results, to have a 6-pack, to look, incredible naked. So then he obviously has his testimonials and he can literally plaster his Instagram with it. This is essentially how it works. And so my barber, is taken in by all these testimonials, but he couldn't stick to it. And actually, he's now heavier than he was when he started the meal plan. And this is such a common thing that we see. And Joe Wicks, no disrespect to him, he's done some fantastic things. I love that, all the kind of PE lessons he did and all of that. But in terms of his plan, we've had a lot of women that have come from Joe Wicks to us because essentially what Joe Wicks has offered them is a meal plan. It's literally eat this, you'll get results, but there's no understanding of how they've got results. And let's be honest, you're going to follow. And this is problem number 2 with meal plans. So the first problem is they're not really, in some cases, sustainable. So in the cases, if you see someone's literally their Instagram page or their Facebook is filled with before and afters, and the people look incredible transformations. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible, because it is 100% is. But if they are dramatic, and I'm talking 6 to 12, 15 weeks, dramatic changes, the likelihood is they're on ridiculously low calories, essentially starvation diet, and they're being pushed to go to the gym 5 times a week. That's my knowledge, understanding of it. And if that's for you, that's great. But from the women I have worked with, from my experience, and me and my coaches, we've worked with thousands, as I've said, a lot of the women that come to us have done stuff like that in the past. And yes, seen results, lost 2 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone, like the Cambridge diet, essentially. But then the problem is not sustainable. You can't go being hungry forever. You can't go, feeling tired all the time and having to work out for an hour every day, or, 3 times a week, especially when work gets busy, or, there's stressful stuff going on in life. Because let's be honest, even before the pandemic, life throws curveballs at you. So one problem is in some cases, they're not sustainable. Now, even let's say it was sustainable. Let's say you get a meal plan that isn't a starvation diet, isn't ridiculously low calories. Are you going to follow that forever? Like literally eat that for breakfast, eat that for lunch, eat that for dinner. How long are you going to follow that repetition? Because meal plans don't include meals out. They don't have, okay, I'm going out for dinner this Sunday and I'm going to have a roast. It doesn't tell you like how to incorporate that, how to change the meal plan to include it. Or, I'm going out for Nando's, or whatever it is, Pizza Express. It doesn't include that. So then what do? I'm going around my friends for dinner. My friend's cooking something really nice. I've had too much to drink last night. Well, I had a few drinks. I enjoyed myself. It was a party. I had loads of cake. The meal plan's not going to be able to tell you, okay, well, this is what you need to do next to counteract that. This is how you get results going forwards. So essentially, if you stick to it, awesome, you're going to get results. But how long are you going to stick for it? How long are you going to eat the same foods and follow that meal plan? And some people might say, yeah, that's fine, but I'll just get another meal plan. Awesome. So you're just going to keep buying meal plans for the rest of your life and follow a meal plan for 6 weeks, and then another 6 weeks, and another 6 weeks, and another 6 weeks. If you think about it, let's say a meal plan costs you £100 a month, which are really, like, if you're working with someone who's very good, a good one would, you might get a cheap one. Let's say, in fact, go with a cheap one. Let's say you go with a cheap meal plan for £30 a month, okay? Or even £20 a month, same as a diet club. Are you going to just keep paying £20 a month every month for a meal plan? Over a year, that's £250 nearly. Is it? Let me work out. £20 a month, 12 months. Yeah, 240 quid a year. And then 2 years, it's nearly 500 quid. 4 years, it's nearly £1,000. How long does that go on for? So problem number one is, in most cases, they're not sustainable. Problem number two is most people can get bored of it. And then problem number three is, what are you going to do next? What happens when you stop following the meal plan? And this is the problem. And this is what we get with a lot of women that come to us, is that essentially they've done stuff in the past that they can't sustain, like they can't stick to. And essentially, if you can't stick to it for the rest of your life, and I mean genuinely the rest of your life, what are you going to do next? And that's a really important question to ask yourself. Whatever diet you are doing, what will you do next? Because if you can't see yourself doing it for the rest of your life, then you have to know what you're doing next. You have to be prepared to kind of go into that. So meal plans essentially don't educate. They don't tell you why you've lost weight, how you've lost weight, what you need to do once you've got to your goal weight, how to maintain that weight loss. As I kind of explained in the post this morning, a meal plan is a bit like going into the test with the answer sheet. You'll be fine. You're going to absolutely nail that test. Sorry, I was an ex-teacher, so it's an easy way for me to you're going to go into that test, you're going to nail it because you've got all the answers. But what about paper 2? What about the other maths test where you don't have the answer sheet? Because you haven't chosen to learn the stuff and you've just been given the answers, or you've copied your best friend, or whatever it is. What happens when you go to paper 2? What happens to you have another test, a different test? So similarly, when that meal plan's taken away, or when those, the diet is taken away, and you've not been told like what to do when you're on your own, like how to do this for yourself, like how to maintain, the likelihood is you're going to revert back to what you did before. And you're going to go back to the same habits, the same eating, the same foods. And typically what we find is the weight goes back up again, either back to where you were, or in most cases, heavier than where you were before. And this is what I'm here to help change. I don't want to see that anymore. I've seen it with, people close to me, like relatives, family, friends, a lot of women that I'm really close to. And I don't want to see that anymore. I want to help people, I want to help women to get rid of this kind of diet culture and get rid of this. Now, before I continue, I'm just going to check the comments because there might be some really good comments. So what I would love while I'm kind of reading out the comments going through this, I'd love you to comment below and let me know if this is making sense, if it's helpful. And what I'd also love to know is, have you done a meal plan? Have you done something like Joe Wicks or followed like the Cambridge diet? And what was your experiences? Were they the same as what I've described? Is this all kind of like really resonating with you? Or is it complete opposite? I genuinely would love to know. So, hey, Jackie. Hey, Jane. Susan's saying no. Ellie's got her hands up. Lorraine, 100% used to think that was the way to lose weight. So Lorraine's working with us now, and she now has changed that train of thought since working with us. Ruth, yeah, way too restricted. I would immediately rebel. And I think fitness is really important. We talk about this a lot in the Pillar 1 video, in that it's so important to have food freedom. And I mean complete freedom, to understand how to eat whatever you want, because there is no such thing as a bad food. Genuinely, no one food in isolation, no combinations of food on their own will cause fat gain. Genuinely. You can include all foods in your diet. I'm going to show you actually tonight. You're going to want to stick around because I'm going to show you tonight something we use with some of our clients, not all our clients, some of our clients, to show them that they can have absolutely whatever they like. Susan, freedom of choice. Ellie, restricting yourself does no good. Ellie actually, she did Joe Wicks before. Ruth, then you end up on chicken and broccoli. Yeah, a lot of PTs will go into these kind of, especially if they've come from a bodybuilding background, they'll go into these very, very bland meal plans. So it's like, you know, X grams of chicken plus X grams of rice plus X grams of, you know, vegetables. Yeah, which isn't particularly appealing or enjoyable. Ruth, I'm a really good cook and lack of right meal plans offends me. 100% Ruth. Life is about enjoyment. And this is what this group's about. So in fact, if you're watching this and you're liking it so far and you're thinking, I want to enjoy life. By the way, there is a difference between restriction and restraint. And obviously things have to change. If you're not seeing results, like if you're not happy, if you're not in a position where you feel healthy, you have the energy you want, things have to change. Like there's no doubt about that. And there has to be like some restraint. Now, restraint and restriction are different. Restraint is you having the power to make those choices. So Ruth is spot on. And this is what we're all about helping women enjoy their life whilst they change it. Because food is for enjoyment. Life is for enjoyment. Why put your life on hold for 3 months? Why put, you know, your happiness on hold just to get to a scale weight that you can't maintain? And the minute something is forbidden, I crave it. Psychologically, this is spot on. We talk about this a lot in our Pillar 1 video. So if you haven't seen it, go to the guide section, check out Pillar 1 video. Elaine, love broccoli. I love broccoli as well. There's nothing, I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying that like chicken, rice and broccoli is bad. No food is bad. It just might be boring if you had it every day. I genuinely love broccoli as well. Susan, Cambridge diet, hated it, felt hungry. Thank you for sharing, Susan. If anyone else is liking this so far, now stick around because I'm going to show you what the solution is, and we're going to get to that very, very soon. So hopefully I've shown you that meal plans are not the answer. Now, some of you say, well, I just, recipes, I just need recipe packs. So I've got loads and loads of choice. Now, I'm going to tell you why that's not the answer. Again, really helpful. Okay, like Ruth talked about, give you more variety, which is awesome. That's going to help you stay kind of interested. And if you're seeing results as well, it's going to help you stay motivated. But let's be honest, you can get recipes for free online. For free. Literally, Google BBC Good Food. If you really wanted to, type in BBC Good Food, 300 calorie breakfasts or 400 calorie dinners. You can literally make your own meal plan for free. And you can get about 1 million recipes online for free. In fact, you can get every bit of information you need online for free. Now, here's the problem with free. Here's the problem with this is, where do you start? How do you do it? And I've gone through this in the pillar 2 video as well. Like lots of people trying to make too many changes at once. Again, not sustainable. Now, the problem with free as well, especially in these circumstances, and I'm talking about like information, because nowadays you'd think like we live in a fantastic time where you can literally get anything online. But the problem with that, and this is a massive problem, is there is so much misinformation out there. Who should you listen to? Who's right? Who's wrong? We even had a woman in the group comment the other week. I had to remove the comment because it was not true. It is not backed up by science about insulin and how insulin causes fat gain. It doesn't. We all have insulin in our body. If that was the case, then it would be a problem for everyone, not just diabetics. And for example, protein, especially whey protein in shakes, causes spikes in insulin as much, if not more than a lot of sugary products. So this is what I mean. There's people, and she's got this from a doctor online. There are lots of doctors. There are, you know, lots of authority figures, people that look in incredible shape, that have made up their own whatever theory, product, solution, and spread misinformation because they're trying to sell something. And there's just generally loads of misinformation. Like the Netflix documentaries are incredibly biased and terrible if you're looking for factual information. So the problem with free is, who do you listen to? What do you do? Like who's right, who's wrong, like making the most of it. So it's important to make sure you do due diligence, like, and question everything. So if I ever say anything and you go like, why or how, or you want me to explain it, please do so. I'm more than happy to share with you actual peer-reviewed studies, like actual research, not a documentary, not an article, not a blog, peer-reviewed studies. And I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And I will hardly ever say with 100% certainty that this is the way, or this is the way, or this is right, or this is wrong, because that isn't the case in most chances. And there's a lot of context always needed. So I'm more than happy to kind of be challenged, because that to me is good. And that's showing that you're doing your due diligence to make sure you're making the right decisions for you. Anyway, here is what the answer is. So it talks about education, talks about flexibility. And by the way, I'm going to share with you, I'm going to show you what we use with our clients. In fact, let me just check the comments quickly. Broccoli, no. I bet you like sprouts. I do. I love sprouts. I actually love sprouts. And they are amazing with bacon. I'm going to give a massive heads up to this amount for food. I just used to use a smaller plate. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the solution. I'm going to talk through the solution as well. So first things first, we don't use this for every single client. Okay, so as I've kind of already highlighted, like there is no one way of doing anything. Like there is a million ways to skin a cat, and what will work for one person might not work for another. And this is the other problem with diets, and the other problem with meal plans, is that following the same approach as someone else just because they got results, following a generic approach might not serve you. So actually, not all of our clients use this, but it is one of the ways that we can create flexibility, and one of the things that we do use with some of our clients. Every single client, as you'll probably see from watching the client success stories, will potentially have a completely different journey. But I'm going to share with you what we use. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So let me just go back. Okay, so it's called a meal template. All right. So this first page on it kind of explains how it works. And these are personalized. So what we do is we get a load of information from someone when they join us, which to help us to personalize the meal template to ensure that if they follow it, they get results. So there's 6 boxes, and you start top left, and you'd pick your source of protein. Okay. And we make sure that everything is the right quantities for you. So you'd pick your source of protein, and there's literally, in fact, I'll show you breakfast. Okay. So I'll go through a breakfast one for you. So you can see here, you've got tofu, steak, prawns, fish, baked beans, ham, sausages, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, protein powder, smoked salmon, bacon, eggs. You pick one, just pick any of those. So you could literally go, I don't know what to have. What have I got in the fridge? Right, I'm going to pick that. And then you pick a carbs, and these are optional if you don't want to eat carbs for whatever reason, if it's celiac or whatever, and you just pick one. So let's say, for example, you love smoked salmon, you've got smoked salmon in the fridge, and then you might pick one slice of bread, and this could be obviously toasted. So you might have a slice, you might have 120 grams of smoked salmon with a slice of bread, and you see all the measurements out there, and you've got berries, oats, shredded wheat, and by the way, slice of bread that could be white or brown. White, there's nothing wrong with white bread. Cereals on there, honey, maple syrup, tortillas, and then you're going to pick one fat to go with it. So you're going to pick one thing from this list. So you can have cottage cheese or cream cheese, whatever you want. So smoked salmon, cream cheese, toast. And then fill up your plate with whatever veg you want, tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach, whatever you like to go with it. And you don't, it doesn't have to be bland. You can add sauce with it. And to make it even simple, more simple for the clients that use these, is you can use one of the examples. So we give like 6 different examples for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. So if you really don't know how to use it or what to do, you can literally pick from one of the examples. So you can see already that there is no must eat this, mustn't eat that. And if there's a food that's not on here, that doesn't mean you can't have it. It just means that we haven't accounted for it. So it just means that a conversation with your coach, we can adjust your template. We can include the foods that you love that are not on there, and make it work for you. Super simple. And this means, like, if you're stuck at home and you don't know what to have, you can literally go, right, okay, I've got to pick something from this list. I've got that in the fridge. Or I've got to pick something from this list. Okay, I've got that. I could pick something from this list. So it creates flexibility. There's no telling you what to eat. You're in control, which is awesome. And that's how it should be. You're in control to decide like what to do. Now, obviously we've got this for breakfast, lunch, dinner, but also snacks. And now this is the awesome bit. And this is the thing I really wanted to show you, that you can include all of the stuff you love, and you can include it every day and still see results. So this particular meal template, I'm not sure who this is for or their weight or anything like that. This person could have 2 glasses of white wine every day if they wanted. 2 glasses of white wine every day and still see results. They could have a regular sized chocolate bar every day and still see results. And again, we've got examples here. So complete flexibility. Like, you've got on this snacks list, Haribo, brownie, cake, beer, chocolate, frozen yogurt, ice cream, like complete freedom. And when you start to see results using this, then you're going to realize, oh yeah, I can eat what I want. I can eat the stuff I love and get results. Now, I'm going to show you into our private group in a minute, but I can see there's a few questions, loads of comments coming up. If you think that looks awesome, let me know in the comments below. Just put awesome. And like, I know, as I said, it isn't for everyone, and not every one of our clients uses it. I want to make that super clear. There isn't a set, you must do this and you mustn't do that. Like, everything that we do is in discussion with the client to make sure it fits with their lifestyle, fits with their work, fits around, like, to get them results. So let me just, before I kind of go into the group and I show you, what we do, I'm just going to see if we've got questions answered here. So Elaine, who's one of our clients, one of our private clients, said this template was a godsend for me. That's awesome. Why, Elaine? Let people know in the group why this was so good, like how it's helped you. Ruth said, like it, but not 3 meals a day if you don't eat like that. No, we can tailor the template to you. So if you only have 2 meals a day, you only have to eat 2 meals a day. If you want to have 4 meals a day, you can have 4 meals a day. Like, the template is completely personalized. I can see loads of awesomes coming in. So Dawn saying awesome, Karen awesome, Arlene awesome. Press that like button, that love heart button if you're liking this so far. Lorraine looks fab. So as I said, like, this is one of the ways that we start. So rather than using a meal plan, we want to create flexibility. Now, here's the problem. Now, I don't claim to think that that is the solution and that's perfect, because it's not. That is not the answer to everything. And you're probably going to think, what? So why do you do that? It is a starting point, because actually that's still rigid. Because as Ruth said, like, you might have this meal template laid out with 2 meals or 3 meals or 4 meals or whatever. And that's great. But actually it doesn't explain how to change it to go out for dinner. It doesn't, if you're going around friends for dinner, it doesn't go through those kinds of things. So, you know, we could sell that and people could easily get results following it, which is awesome. Okay. And they could follow it for a period of time, but it's not the solution. It's not the answer forever, because there's so much more that needs to be done to ensure someone not only gets to their goal weight, but keeps that weight off for good. So the first part is obviously giving them the tools to go on holiday, to go out for dinner, to go around their friends for dinner, like to have even more flexibility, because there might be a morning where actually you don't want protein. You don't want a source of protein. You don't want carbs. You don't want fats. As you can see, we're like really important. We get full balanced diet and we include everything, stuff you love, the great stuff, the veg, but also, you know, the chocolate and wine. So it's all about having balance. But this still isn't the answer. This is the starting point. Okay. And from this starting point, we then can build those building blocks to create even more flexibility. Like, imagine having the freedom to go out for dinner. Like, a lot of women talk about, I don't have the motivation. I don't have, you know, I don't have this, I don't have that. But would you need as much motivation if you had that flexibility, if you were in control, if you could include the foods you love? And if you like can make those choices for yourself, you know how to eat certain, like, you know how to incorporate all the foods you love and lose weight and understand how it works. Once you get down to your goal weight, having all of that knowledge, that information, how much easier is it going to be to maintain that weight loss? Because you're not going to have to then change your diet again. You're essentially going to have to make small tweaks to what you're already doing to just maintain. You're not going to need as much motivation, if any motivation, because you've got complete flexibility. You're not going to be fighting cravings where you're telling yourself you can't have foods. You're not going to feel guilty. Like, and whether we use the template, which I've just shown you, or we use one of the other methods that we use for our clients, like, that is the idea for what we do, is creating this flexibility. Yeah, Chris for breakfast, sorry. Yeah, see, Lorraine's never used it. Sue's never used it. Lorraine has said has lost nearly 4 stone. She's going to be on soon. Sue's just started with us. So not all of our clients use it. Like, it's just another tool in the toolbox. And here's the next thing. So your weight is a symptom. Okay, it's a symptom of something else. The reason you gain weight, a lot of women say, yeah, I've gained weight because I lost motivation. I've gained weight because I stopped following the plan. But why did you lose motivation? Why did you stop following the plan? Like, what's causing you to overeat? What's causing you to not move enough? Like, what's having an impact on those things? And when you start asking the difficult questions, and actually when you start looking at the overall lifestyle of someone, you start to get a better picture, and you then can understand what is the actual root of what's going on. Is it emotional eating? Is it a lack of education or knowledge? Is it stress? Is it poor sleep? Because all of these things, all of these factors will influence eating habits. And it's only by addressing the real reason for you not getting results, whether that's emotions, whether that's stress, whether it's just a lack of education and knowledge, or you know, years of misinformation and kind of believing there's only way, you know, that's it, that's the way. Once you get to the real root of it all and really establish what's going on, that's when you get long-term sustainable results. And this is why we offer a one-to-one coaching program. We only work one-to-one. And this is why we have such a high success rate, Because yeah, we can provide like templates and we can provide methods that are sustainable and give flexibility with food. That's really, really important. We can then walk people through step by step. Right, this week, step 1, we're going to look at this. If we nail this, we're going to review it next week, and then we're going to give you step 2 and then step 3. And you think after 12 weeks, you make 12 big steps. And then you also, we look at their lifestyle. What's going on in their relationship at home? How's work? How's stress? How's sleep? Like, this is a relationship coaching that we do. Sorry, not relationship coaching. This is lifestyle coaching. We're looking at everything to try and find what's really going on so that we can truly help people to do this for life. Because more often than not, and actually there's a study come out, and I know some people in this group are not obese, but there are some people that are obese in this group that want to lose a lot of weight. The study found that about 80% of people that are obese have suffered trauma. And one of the biggest reasons is that trauma and dealing with it. And we have clients that are working with us that have suffered trauma as children, teenagers, a certain point in life. And it's only when that's dealt with that then they can really get the results they want, that they can get sustainable results. Now, this isn't the case for everyone, but there is a reason. And if you don't address the reason and you don't address the lifestyle factors, then you're probably going to be on this yo-yo dieting cycle for the rest of your life. And the meal template doesn't do that. It's not a human being. And this is a problem with things like, I know Noom. I know a lot of women that have come to us from Noom, because essentially there's a psychology of it, and there's loads of amazing things with Noom, but actually there isn't that human element. It's automated responses, and there's not someone there kind of like delving deeper, asking questions, there to support and encourage. And that's why we get such incredible results. And I'm going to show you my group. Like, I don't know whether I've done this before, but I'm going to show you the private members group, and I'm going to show you kind of just a little bit. Obviously, the major thing that gets results is the one-to-one. Having that coach, that person by your side to encourage you, to support you, to give you guidance, to help you make decisions that are going to best support you, not tell you what to do, not say you can't have this and can't do that, to reinforce that you're doing well and keep going, to highlight what you don't see, to give you the guidance, answer those questions for you. So let me show you the group. And obviously you're not going to get that one-to-one experience. You're not going to know what it's like to actually work with a coach, but you will see what we do within our group. So as you can see, in our members group at the moment, there's nearly 101 members, but not all of them are actual clients, because, you know, we have like about six coaches at the moment, and we've got a few other members of the team like Jack and stuff like that. So we're not quite past 100 members yet. Now that might sound like a lot, but you think about it, we've got 6 coaches. Even if there's 90 members, that's like 15 people per coach, which isn't massive. And then, like, I did a post today about comparison is fee for joy. So every day we kind of have a topic. But what I'm going to show you is the guide section. Like, I'm not going to kind of scroll through the group, but I'm going to show you kind of what we provide. So in terms of how we support the women we work with those other things, we help them get to the root. We give them tools. If it allows me, it seems to be stuck. It's not letting me. There we go. I'm just refreshing the page, so just bear with me. While I'm doing that, I see there's some more questions. So Elaine said, flexibility, love planning ahead, but can incorporate anything the day throws at me. Oh, so she's talking about the meal template. Don't feel restricted, but makes me look at how my meals are made up. Even made me realize my portion size was ridiculous and my stacking was a habit. And I was denying about sugar. I was sticking it in my mouth. Ruth, now you've got to the crux of it. We really shouldn't have to even think about food and meal plans. 100-hour weeks as junior doc with no sleep, put the lid on it for me. Oh yes, the early adverse events, not just for obesity, but for so many chronic illness. Thank you for pointing this out. Yeah, 100%. Okay, it's not letting me go into the guide section. So typical. Let me try. And by the way, while I'm doing this, in fact, if you've got questions, you've got questions about meal plans, about recipe packs, about anything I've discussed tonight, you want to challenge me on something, because you know, it doesn't make sense to you, or like anything. And I mean that in a positive way. Like I think challenging someone on the, like what they're saying is really, really important to make sure that actually they know what they're talking about. So if you've got questions for me based on anything I've discussed tonight, anything at all, please start sticking them in the comments and I'll go through them while we kind of wait for this to load. But genuinely, press the like button, press the love heart button if you've really enjoyed this evening, if it's been helpful, if it's kind of shed the light on something that you never really realized before. So, you know, it'd be awesome just to kind of get people kind of pressing the like button, the love heart button. Here we go. Let's see if it works this time. Hopefully I can get into the guide section and I can show you kind of how we help our clients to get to the root of the problem. Obviously, then, as I said, the main way we do it is through that one-to-one coaching, and it is a coaching service. This isn't a diet club. This isn't a weight loss program. We look at lifestyle. So we're looking at sleep. We're looking at stress. We're looking at the main problems that people are facing. Okay, so you see, so we have group call recordings. So basically every single week we have like a main speaker or a guest speaker. So we've had Diane Dansbrink from Menopause Support, and I'm really excited. I don't know whether I've told my members. Yeah, I did. I told them today. So Diane Dansbrink is from Menopause Support. She does loads of campaigning for menopause, and she's extremely knowledgeable. I know some women in this group paid to come and see her talk. So she did an hour presentation with Q&As at the end. And now she's now going to provide either herself or someone from her team to be a resident expert for ARC. So every single month, there is going to be a Q&A slot all around menopause symptoms and treatments. So you can literally hop onto that. Like as a client, you can hop onto it and you can ask questions all about you, because a lot of GPs are not clued up when it comes to menopause symptoms and treatments. There are some now and it's getting better, but there's still a lot that aren't. And it's important to make sure you get the right guidance and you know the right stuff. So we've got an expert now who's going to be in our group every single month to answer questions, just questions from our clients, so they can get the right guidance as to symptoms, treatments for menopause. We have Tom Bainbridge, who delivers the BTM Practical Academy, which is Ben Coomber's nutrition course. So that year-long program of study with exams, Tom delivers that. Tom guest speaks every single month. And like, so he talks about sleep. He talked about why, the impact of it. And our presentation really broke it down. We've got Chloe, who specializes in working with women with eating disorders, body dysmorphia. You can see she talks about anxiety, emotionality. So in here, there is tons and tons of valuable stuff, not just about eat this, don't eat this. You can see there's one here about body image, body dysmorphia. There's one here from Tom about how to never be fooled again. Like, how can you tell what's misinformation and what's not? We had Amanda Phoebe come into the group, Amazon bestseller for Menopocalypse. She came into the group and did an hour's talk with our members. There's one on intuitive eating, self-soothing, self-care, healthy coping, release and self-sabotage. There's a ton there. And we have these, as I said, every week there is a guest speaker or an expert presentation. We've got live workouts that happen a couple of times a week. If you're not joining live, as you can see, there's like nearly 50 recordings. We've got yoga as well, and you got access to 6 yoga sessions a week. There's now Pilates. We've got a weekly schedule, so you know what to do. There's a ton of recipes. We have 180 recipes plus these, and there's a ton in here, like a ton of different recipes. So like, if you're looking for variety, like, we've got it. Top tips, wellness. So we've got meditation, how to improve your sleep. There's, as you can see, we cover all aspects of lifestyle. There is an absolute ton of content. So I just wanted to highlight that, because I think some people join this group and think this is just a diet club, like this is a weight loss program. But the reason our women get such great results, but not just that, you'll see women that not only get great results, but when they finish working with us, they lose more weight. They stop working with us and lose more weight. Think about that. Have you ever done anything before and had such knowledge, understanding, and been in such control that you then can maintain your weight loss or keep losing weight? Have you? If you have, that's incredible. I would say that a large percentage, that is the case, that work with us. I can't see any questions, so I'm not going to stick around too long. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes if you have got questions, and I'll answer all of them. And I'm just going to go through the comments. So Ruth's really enjoyed this. Ruth said, I love Diane. Diane is awesome. She is awesome. She's such a nice woman. Elaine, can't wait to hear Diane again. She is awesome. So helpful. Lorraine, she was fabulous. Fantastic news. And then Ruth, I'm loving the yoga. Awesome. Cool. So if there's no questions, or if you watch this on replay and you've got questions, stick them in the comments and I'll answer them and get back to you. Thank you so much for attending this evening. I genuinely didn't expect to hit double figures. I thought I'd be speaking to 3 people. I thought I'd be speaking to 4 people, or speaking to myself, because, you know, I know what it's like when the weather's nice. People don't want to be sat inside on their phone, or, you know, sat watching this. So genuinely appreciate you coming tonight. Ruth, especially for interacting. I do love engagement. It means I'm not just sat speaking to myself or speaking to a camera. So genuinely love all the engagement I had tonight, not just Ruth, but she has engaged loads. And I'll see you again next Monday, every Monday, 8 p.m. Hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if what you got from this. Like, let us know if you've enjoyed it. Let us know if it was helpful. It's always good to get some feedback. If it was rubbish, if I bored the tits off you, let me know, and I'll make sure I'm more interesting and more engaging in the future. Hey, why have a bit more comment? Oh, I've got plenty of confidence, Ruth. I know what we do is awesome. So I just thought I'd love to get feedback though as well. Right, take care, guys, and I will speak to you all soon.